Yo, what's going on guys? Arekkz here. Welcome back to another video for Monster Hunter Rise. It is finally time. The last two weapons, one of the ones that I've been waiting for so much, which of course is the Charge Blade, and oh my gosh, this does not disappoint. If you guys do enjoy this video, then a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below, let me know what you guys think. Now that we've seen all the weapon videos, which ones are your favorites? What weapon do you think you're going to main on day one? Let me know. But let's not waste any time. First things first, before we talk about the weapon, the armor set, this is quite clearly from that new spider monster. We haven't seen the monster in action yet, but regardless, this looks super cool. Loving the design of it. I love how the sort of sword on this one almost looks kind of like a wand/an axe. It's crazy, so I can't wait to see the rest of it. But yeah, armor, weapon, looking very nice. In the intro montage, we of course see some moves we are familiar with. We see the shield thrust, we see a super amped element discharge, and we see the setup for a couple of the wire bug attacks. The very first gameplay scene, of course, shows off the ability to launch yourself into the sky, draw from there straight into axe mode. So we know that pretty much all the weapons seem to have this, the ability to just like pull yourself into the sky and just draw into some sort of attack. So in this situation, drawing into an axe attack, doing that wide sweep, and then transitioning into the super amped element discharge attack, only to cancel it into an amped element discharge. Pretty standard behavior, things we've seen before, but nice to see it with the aerial attack worked in. The next clip is just a quick one, just to sort of show off standard sword and shield behavior, charge slash into that wide slash, nothing sort of fancy on you there. The following clip is of course a guard point straight into an amped element discharge, and the final clip of course is the super amped element discharge, which is incredibly awesome to see. I just love seeing it. It's nothing new, we've had this for a long time, but that is one of those moves that is just always satisfying to see. So in the first few clips, worth noting, nothing sort of hugely new or sort of major standout, at least from what we can see so far. Keep in mind, until we get to see UI, we won't necessarily know if there's sort of any like behind the scenes behavior change to say the way that the shield charges, the way that the sword charges, whether you still maintain full shield charge after an SAD, that kind of thing. All those things we'll of course have to find out in training, but either way, first things first is largely speaking just standard charge blade behavior. So if we then move over to the Silkbind attacks, the very first one is Morphing Advance. We've seen this in the very first trailer, but this one says unleash the moving force of a heavy axe. Use a wire bug to launch you forward whilst your charge blade switches to axe form, and then while in motion, monsters won't knock you down or stun you, and this can be chained into a variety of attacks after moving. So as you can see, you can go straight from axe mode, you can get close, you can perform the wide sweeping axe attack, or as we know from the original trailer, you can also straight away transition into a super amped element discharge. So really, this is just a great chance to close the gap. Basically, you want to get towards the monster. I feel like it might be a similar way to say the switch axe, how I sort of theorized that, you might still take damage. The fact that you don't get flinched, in a sort of rock steady manner, fair enough, but you might still take some chip damage in the process. Again, until we get to see the health bar, we won't know for certain, but mainly this is just a chance to close the gap, get in close and set up for some damage. However, the second one is incredibly cool. This is the counter peak performance. This is a Silkbind attack that readies your shield for incoming attacks. Getting hit fills your files to maximum, priming you for the ultimate counter attack. So as you can see in the gameplay, they switch over and they show a little bit of HUD. You can see that you have 0 files. You then take an attack, and from there you can then go straight into some sort of counter attack. The very first clip goes into that sort of familiar charged sword overhead slam. Meanwhile, the second clip goes into a more familiar super amped element discharge. It is also worth noting, by showing the UI here, we do see both the sword and shield icons, so it does therefore make me assume that, behavior from Iceborne, we are still potentially going to get charged sword and charged shield. Again, until we actually get to play with it ourselves, I won't know whether there's any changes to that behind the scenes, but seeing them both in the UI does of course at least indicate that much. But main thing is just having the ability to very quickly max out your files. Admittedly, you can't use these all the time. Keep in mind, a lot of these Silkbind moves, depending on their strength, typically cost either 1 or 2. We've often seen that, the aerial launchers tend to cost you like 1. Meanwhile, bigger things like that probably cost you 2. So you're not going to be able to do this as like a baked-in way of your standard playstyle all the time. You are, of course, going to have to manage cooldowns, but the fact is, if you're in a pinch, you suddenly want to line up something big and you can sort of counter that and then go into an SAD, that is going to be nice. But for the time being, that's pretty much it. That's a little look at Charge Blade from what we've seen so far. Again, I cannot wait to go hands-on with this one. So we're not even that far away, to be fair. We're mid-December now. We've got a demo in January. We don't have a date just yet, but regardless, at some point in January, at some point within the next sort of month or so, we should be playing this game. So, I can't wait. Anyway, keep it locked because I'll be speaking about the Hunting Horn a little bit later on today. And then, of course, following that, stay tuned for plenty more Rise coverage. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget, if you haven't already done so, you can join the Arekkz Gaming Discord. We've got an awesome community over there with so many different channels for you to chat loads of different topics and different games. I'm in there, the team's in there if you guys want to chat with us, find people to play with. It's just in general a great place to be. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of our future uploads.